Hi, this is Dorothy Kilty from Raccoon Alley Designs, and this is a flip through of my December design team project for Dear Julie Julie. I used her antique sewing pages and ephemera kits as kind of a starting place. And again, Dorothy Kilty, Raccoon Alley Creations, and it's at DA Kilty on YouTube. All right. So this is my project. This is a cigar box, and my last husband was a cigar smoker, and so I actually have quite a few of these boxes. This one, it turns out, and I didn't realize it until I put this in, doesn't close well, so I will be changing the latch on this. I need to go to Hobby Lobby or someplace to get one. So this page is a corset advertisement from a book I had of advertisements, and when I discovered it would sit here, I couldn't wait to use it. I had never done decoupage on wood before. Back when it was a thing, I didn't do it. I used texture paste around here, around the edges, with kind of a Art Deco-ish design, and then I went over it with vintage oxide, or vintage photo distressed oxide, to kind of bring it out a little bit. And then these are just some yo-yos, we call them here. They call them someplace else in England, and part of an old doily, just to decorate the corners a little bit, okay? You open the box, and inside the cover, I did a collage. Now, some of these, here's an upside down sewing machine. I didn't realize it was upside down until right this minute. And then this is one of Dear Julie, both of these are Dear Julie Julie digitals, and I crumbled this and then used the distress oxide to kind of distress it a little bit. Part of a pattern, and this is instructions from some iron-on embroidery patterns. Now, the other thing I did in this book is I put a box in here. I figured out what size I wanted my journal to be, and then I created a box inside that's glued in place that can hold pens, or maybe a few coloring pencils or something for when you're journaling. Now, I do, when I'm designing things, I very often make drawings. This is a copy of the same picture, and it's done with the decoupage, or with the using the texture paste and stuff through a stencil to get the decoration around the edge here. And then the closure, let me first show you how you get this out. So this lace is glued in here. I haven't decided if I'm going to put a closure on it to actually hold it together or not. But then once you pull out the journal, this is the Kathleen Maurer closure. That's why I first saw do it, and it's now my favorite closure. I put this together with using tape, and there'll be a link below to a video where I showed doing this. Now, you'll see in the video that I actually had 4 signatures, not just 3. But when I started stuffing it, it was too big, so I took one out. A lot of these papers, so like this is a Dear Julie Julie digital that I used as a pocket on the inside cover. But this is an old pin, a real vintage pin paper, and this is something that I had. So this is also a Dear Julie Julie digital in here for a little journaling card. And the way I put the button on is I use one that has the circle on the inside, and I just, in this case, it was not a circle that I punched, but a line. And then I just have this charm here to hold that in place and keep the button in place, okay? Now, my mother lived with my sister the last couple years of her life. She died in 1979. And my sister was downsizing, and she found a binder with some patterns and things that my mother had saved that she thought that I might like. And yes, I jumped at them. So there's a lot of papers in here that are from that. I also have some lace and papers from Sarita's. Oh, I'll have to find the link to her. But it's from a package that I got from Sarah at Sarita's Designs or something. Anyway, and then I have some other lace that I got from Unearthed Relics. And she had a lot of stuff. So just beautiful stuff. This is another one of Julie's Digital, and then this is something that was my mother's copy. It looks like she made. I also just used some other assorted papers. Here's a hanky that I put in, and it's kind of folded over on the top. This could be glued on and become a tuck spot. I may do that sometime in the future. This is a pocket on practice writing paper, but these two tapes, this one here, and both of these were in a vintage tin that I got. And this is a cloth tape, really old, with the numbers on it. So this one went up to 60 inches. And this was from a company that you use to measure your inseam. Inseam size is 26 to 34, so you could get it hemmed, men's slacks. I'm not sure how old this is. It's at least vintage, but I'm not sure how old it is for sure, okay? But I use that for trim a little bit. I machine sewed a lot of these on. Some of the edges are just glued. And I may go back and do this, but honestly, I want to be able to use these. This is my mother's handwriting, so something that I cherish, and one of her laying out one of the Afghans that she used to do. Okay, more Julie's Digitals, more of my mother's handwriting, and something she was doing. She worked for the State of California Department of Fish and Game, so looks like she copied or picked up one of their graph paper. I don't know what they used it for, and maybe they were getting rid of it. Here's Julie's digital glued to some cardstock to use as a belly band. I thought that this was part of Julie's Digitals, but Dorothy Daily Ribbons. You know, my name is Dorothy, so definitely had to include that wherever I could find it. Again, more of her Digitals. I did not put anything on the back. These will be filled with designs for quilts and things like that at some point. This is from Sarah, and it's just a fabric flip, zigzag down, and then glued in place. And this was from a vintage needlework magazine. This is actually me laying out something on graph paper, and this is a pattern back. So all of those kind of can be written on. You could put a sticker over this if you didn't want it. Okay, we're back to the other half of these. I'm going to flip through them real quickly. Okay, that's the first signature. Here's the second signature. Magazine page. I think it was a 1961 magazine that this was on. And then this is an old rickrack packaging. And this is an old needle kit. For right now, I've left the needles in. I may to thin this out if I want to take those out in the future. Here's from Sarita. This is a fabric pocket. Look at this beautiful lace on this. Okay, this was Happy Mail that I received, but it was so perfect for this journal that I decided to add it. So both of these were Happy Mail. And this has music paper on the back, but you can journal on this and draw here. Okay. Okay, this is a linen, like runner, tablecloth cover, dresser cover. More of the vintage patterns from my mother. More of Dear Julie's designs. Another pattern from my mother, and I'm sure she typed this up on this thin typing paper. Okay, here we have a magazine page that she had saved. She didn't do a lot of quilting, But she did do some, and she knew that I had already started quilting, so, and then her handwriting again. This was a book that she had received, sent for, with a pattern for making dolls. And this is a pattern for embroidery design that came out of a vintage book. And I have glued 2 pages together. This side is a pocket, but this one I wanted to open up so you could see the Baltimore quilt designs. Okay, I have done some Baltimore quilt squares, interestingly enough, and so that was fun to me. Looking at the other side of those pages, now the other half of it, and this time this is a pillowcase edging from a vintage pillowcase. Instead of sewing it down, I glued this one down as an edge trim. Okay, just to show. We go with the pocket. This is vintage lace from Sarita, I believe, and then this was just the inside of a needlework magazine, a small one. I thought was interesting, so I tucked it in there. This is the envelope to my mother. Leon Kilty was my mother, that the doll pattern came in. So this can be a tuck. I've just put it over here, put it over both sides. I haven't glued it. I haven't set up to put up. This is a magazine page, and then these were from another magazine page, and I've just sort of collaged this with a lace trim. Here's one of DearJulieJulie's, a couple of her digitals. One's a pocket, one's a journaling card. And this is a vintage Band-Aid because I don't know about you, but when I sew, I need Band-Aids. Okay, this also was part of a the Happy Mail, this little paper clip. And I've tucked a couple of DearJulieJulie's digitals underneath it. There we go. Okay, and onto one of her pages. Let's see if I can fold this in without messing it up this time. This time I just took that thin cloth tape and I glued it on the edge of this. I may add a dangle on this later, but right now I'm just leaving it there. More of my mom's handwriting and patterns and things. And more of this lace. This also came off of the edge of a pillowcase. So this was a vintage bag. This was from 1972. And it has a bunch of buttons in it. I've just put a button card in here to keep it kind of flat. But I love this old button bag, and makes a great tuck spot if I want to tuck things in. And I rolled the edges down just to reinforce it a little bit on this. More patterns. There's the dolls that the patterns are making. Anymore, when I do dolls, I haven't done them in a while, but I just do them however I feel like. Here's another piece of pattern, and another one of DearJulieJulie's digitals. And on this page, this is a crocheted purse pattern, and on the back over the instructions I just glued a little piece of vintage graph paper so I can write on it or draw on it or something. And on this back cover I have a piece of the fabric, or a piece of lace made into a tuck spot. Now I'm going to show you, put this back in the box, I'm going to show you the signature that I took out because I decided it was too thick, but I love it, so it'll go somewhere. So this is, again, collage. Part of it is copies of the lace, and part of it is the real lace. Here we have a belly band made out of the measuring tape and a vintage fasteners plugged in. Here's DearJulieJulie's digitals. I swear I thought these were dry when I glued them down. So this is a part of a page with the lace as a tuck spot. My mother also did flower arranging. She was very talented and artistic, and she painted and drew and did a lot of different things. So, Dear Julie, Julie's Digitals. Here's another pattern, crochet pattern. You know what I think this is? This is using the broomstick crochet. Use a really large needle to get a large pattern for Afghans or something. Anyway, and then I've sewn on the pillowcase edge on this. Okay, here's one of my mom's patterns. And a lot of this graph paper came from my mom. Some of it is stuff that I had. This is also Dear Julie Digital. This is making the doll again, sewing the hair on and everything. And this is Dear Julie Digital Thread Guide. I love that. Okay, and that is the end of it. On this page, I just took this piece of a pattern thing and I just glued it on here for an edge. Okay, when I finish this, I may put another pocket on that. So that is the end of my digital. I encourage you, there'll be links below to Dear Julie's Etsy shop where you can buy these digitals. These are on sale for 25% off. Mine and the pages used by the other 11 designers. There's 12 of us on the design team, and they're all on sale for 25% off, so you can't miss it. And then I just want to thank you. On YouTube, I'm at D.A. Kilty. I appreciate you watching my channel. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.